morning. Today we will be baking some soft cookies. In Eastern Europe they are called Koržiki. What we're gonna need is milk, eggs, sunflower oil, vegetable oil. You can use either sunflower oil or grapeseed oil. I like this one, the grapeseed, better. Don't use olive oil, it's gonna give a very sour, bitter taste. Next one is sugar, salt, baking powder, unbleached flour. Also what we're gonna need is KitchenAid to mix. Ideally, if you don't have it, you can do it by hand. It's gonna be pretty laborious if you do that, so I really recommend the KitchenAid scale. And then also need the sifter, very important step, to sift the flour to make them fluffy. Let's get started. Okay, let's get started. We need 4 eggs, 4 eggs. I'm using extra large eggs, but any eggs would do fine, of course. Eggs. 4 eggs. Okay. Next one, we're gonna need 105 grams of sugar. My cookies are not very sweet, so if you like more sweet stuff, then feel free to use more. Like, original recipe actually talks about 500 grams, which is a lot, and I'm trying to, cook healthier food, so it's just way too much. So I'm doing 105. Mm-hmm, 105, perfect. And then we're gonna need 200 milliliters of oil. And it's handy to, measure everything, to keep the bowl on a scale. 200, almost 200. 200 milliliters of oil. 160 milk. 160. 160 milk. And now those are all of your liquid ingredients. Now we're gonna mix them using a KitchenAid. Let's do that. You can come closer, please. And here we're gonna do it maybe on a pretty, I'm gonna use, I think, 2 or 4 to make sure that everything is mixed properly. And also we need to mix the sugar really well in this case. So I'm using the 2, and we're gonna mix for about 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Okay, now that we have mixed our liquid ingredient, including the sugar, we are going to, and sugar is not liquid, but now what we need to do is sift through the flour. Very important step. So you take any sifter. I got this one from Target. It's okay, but I'm not sure if I want to recommend it. Just take any sifter you'd like. And what I do is I put the bowl on a scale, and then here I can sift the flour, and then I can actually see how much flour do I have. So usually I use around 650 to 750 grams of flour. It depends on the flour itself, and on the eggs, how big they were, and that your liquid ingredients. So it depends. I'm gonna show you how the fully prepared dough looks like, so that you will be able to determine how much flour you need. But the next step is the sifting. Okay, now I have sifted through my flour. This is 700 grams. This time I went with this amount. If I need more, I'll just add. But 700 grams is maximum that you should start with. Ideally, maybe a little bit slightly below that, maybe 690. So in this case, we're 650. Then what we're gonna do is let's add some salt, and just a pinch, like maybe half a teaspoon, a little bit of salt, and a pinch of baking powder, just a little bit, maybe also half a teaspoon, maybe less, most likely a little bit less, and I'm just using pinches like that. And we put the flour. What we're gonna do next is we're actually going to preheat the oven 355 degrees. So start the oven and let's mix. This is our dough. As you can see, it's almost done mixing, and you can see you can take a look at the consistency. We're mixing on stir mode, and as you can see, it's really hard for the KitchenAid to work through it, and this is a good consistency. It's actually almost starting to ride up the mixing part, so that's a good consistency. So our amount of flour was enough. We're gonna add a little bit more when we roll it, but right now the amount of flour is good. Okay, now our dough is ready. We mixed it. Let's use our spatula or whatever dough scraper to take it out of the bowl. And I sprinkled some flour, and you should do the same on the counter. By the way, before you start working with your dough, make sure that your counter is completely perfectly clean. So take a piece of paper towel, wet it a little bit, and then make sure that the surface that you're going to be working on is completely clean. So this is our dough. This is a perfect consistency. What we're going to do is make sure that it's not sticky. So we're going to slightly, as you can see, it sticks right here. So I actually have another scraper for those, like this one. This thing is handy for baking in general. You know, the set. It was a set. So you can see how the elasticity is like really good for this dough. And we are going to need some, you know, it looks perfect. We're going to need some flour to sprinkle on top. And what we're going to do next is we're going to roll it into a 1-inch thick layer like this. Look at the dough, it's perfect. So this is how it's supposed to look like. Maybe 1.5 inches, and our oven is ready, 355 degrees. Then what we're gonna do is take a cookie cutter, and you can use any shape, but the bigger the better. And we're going to do like this and just press it side to side like that. And here's our, make sure that the sides are perfectly smooth. And we put it on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. And we're gonna repeat this over and over until our cookies are ready. And by the way, when, for example, on your first batch, when you're done cutting out the shapes here, we're going to roll it into another sheet and just repeat over and over. Our cookies are ready, and they all fit on one baking sheet. Now what we're going to do is our oven is heated up for 355 degrees. We're going to put the cookies in for 21 minutes. Okay, so now our cookies are ready. How do you make sure that they are cooked, fully cooked? You turn them upside down, and you can see the little bit of browning. This is enough. They look white, that's okay, that's how they're supposed to be. They're pretty pale. But if you put them back and bake them for longer, then they're going to be too hard. So this is perfect. This is enough. Don't bake them more. 21 minutes in this case was completely perfect. Okay, so how do you decorate them? How do you serve them? You can put some powdered sugar on top like this. Just sprinkle I'm using like a tea sifter, or what is the name for this thing? And you just sprinkle like this, and it looks like snow on top. And this is the result of our recipe. Soft cookies, korжики.